I'm going to send out the right link to everybody. And they may be on already. They could have gotten it today. But you guys, I'd like to introduce Emily and her darling husband. Emily, remind me your husband's name.
This is Shawn.
Hey, I can't see ourselves if we're even on right now, but nice to meet you.
Nice to see you guys. Anyway, what we're excited about is I met them in Salt Lake, and they have a phenomenal story, and I'm going to let them tell you their story really quick. They have been top income earners in 2 phenomenal network marketing companies, and then all of a sudden show up in Isagenix and start to break all of the records. So Emily, tell everybody your history.
I would love to. Thank you so much, Tami, for inviting Shawn and I on just to share a little bit more of our story. One of the reasons I just think it's so nice that you did that is because we are so passionate about this. We made a decision a long time ago, and we had kind of shared a little bit of that at the event in Salt Lake City, to be a part of this industry because to really back up, when we first got engaged, about a week and a half after we were engaged, God was in a horrific accident, an explosion that, I mean, he really could have died, but God chose to spare his life, and it really caused us to do a huge 180 in our life and really kind of take a different look and perspective at what we wanted for our future, for ourselves and our kids, and, you know, what kind of a lifestyle did we want? And, you know, it really made us look differently at life and appreciate things differently, and we knew that we wanted to spend time together and with our kids, and we thought, you know, if we could be home and doing something where we're our own boss and we're really in charge of our life and able to help more people and make a difference, that would be just a huge blessing for us and for so many other people. So we decided to work from home and be our own boss. And so for many years, we taught online marketing and home-based business development. And part of what we used to do with that was to actually write reviews about other home-based businesses and network marketing companies. So that was actually really interesting. We got to see so much of what is out there in the industry. And we got to really see that, you know, not only did it reaffirm that we loved working from home and being our own boss, but it kind of really solidified, you know, the wellness industry. It was really huge for us. We're really into fitness and working out and nutrition. And eventually, after doing so much of that, it kind of segued into steering us towards a specific network marketing company in the wellness industry. And we were really blessed to do very well with it. And eventually, about a year and a half ago, an amazing guy named Ben Stevenson, who's from Kansas City, he approached Shawn and I on social media, Facebook, and he invited us to take a look at Isagenix. The funny thing is that we had just hit a really high level in that other company, so technically we shouldn't have been wanting to look around. And but there was something special about Isagenix that really stuck out to us, and we were really impressed with what he shared with us about the company and their integrity, and just the way they did things was so different than what we had been seeing in the past. And with so many years of researching and reviewing companies, we knew what to look for. We knew what would make companies successful and what was really important. But it was so hard to find a company that had all the boxes ticked, you know, like there's a lot of things, you know, maybe the product's good, but the compensation plan's not so good, or maybe, you know, the finance side is good, but their product isn't so good. And so when we saw Isagenix and that it just had everything lining up, we were just like, wow, I mean, this company has everything that we're looking for. And he invited us down to Celebration last year in San Diego, and that was when we just knew we have to be a part of this company. Like this is where it's at, and we haven't looked back. We've just been so impressed and so excited.
And actually, even to back up a little bit further, a lot of people don't know what Emily is. Before we came into Isagenix, she actually did because we have big online marketers and stuff like that. She actually did training in Vegas in front of 10,000 people, and you know, she just, you know, got a heart to want to help the next person. That's what it's about. And sadly, a lot of people are getting online. They really don't know what to do, and they're out almost verbally throwing up on the newest person, and they're wondering why their business isn't really growing. So there's a technique and a way to do it. Mm-hmm. And I just think back to when I had my accident, you know, working and having a job, and I was just like, man, I was just barely getting by. And to think now it's been, 10 years at least, and to make over $1 million in this industry is just floors me, because if someone would have told me that, back in my 20s, I would have never, ever believed that. And just to see that this industry can pay out to somebody, let alone the newest person starting out. They say an average person, if they could just generate extra $500, even just a month, it would help them with a mortgage payment or a car payment. Some cases, it'll even save a marriage. So that's what it's about, is the newest people coming into this, getting results, having fun, and actually seeing what this can do and kind of building it up to like the newest person, so they can see that, hey, this is something that's totally different. And that's what we saw in Isa-Millionaire. I mean, we were just so floored, and we still are, of just the people that are pouring in. It's just people that just really care about the next person. And that's what it's about. It's just pouring into the next person, because people don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. And that's what's really, really hits home for us, especially when I just about had, just about lost my life. And I was in these other businesses, and we were making an incredible amount of income, but I found the newest person coming in couldn't duplicate what we were doing. Mm-hmm. So I love the duplication here, share with two. It's so incredibly simple. And that's what gets us up in the morning to get going. So very honored.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you two sharp rock stars, when you take two companies making six figures, do you guys, how did you really do it? What has made you guys so powerful? Because you're like a sharp, dynamic looking couple, but so many sharp, dynamic people don't make it. So what was the key?
There's quite a few, but there's definitely one that is like absolutely vital. See, if you treat your business like a business, you're going to make business income. If you treat your business like a hobby, sadly, so many people, you get hobby income. Mm-hmm. You absolutely, if you can take anything away from this, and she has a lot of good points, you must be consistent. It's like pushing a snowball up a hill, and you're pushing. And so many people, they work so hard, but after 2, 3, 4 months, it's just like, I'm not sure if I can actually make it work. But you're getting to that point now where people are starting to see, wow, they're still with it. They're still doing it. And then that snowball will get into to fall, and it just starts to go off from there. But it's consistency. You must be consistent, because it's a lot of work in the beginning for very, very little pay. You work, pay. And then it's work, pay. And then it's work, pay. And it just keeps on going. So one of the things for our success is, no matter what anybody tells us, and what we even strive to our team, is you must be consistent. This isn't something where you come in and you wing it for a couple months and just see what happens. You can't be partly pregnant, right? You're either going through the whole thing. It's very, very important you stay consistent.
Can I ask you, how do you cast that vision with a new person, where you're like, you're just going to work when you're not going to make so much in the beginning, How do you word that?
Very, very good question. What I like to do is I get to the newest person, their goals and their dreams. What does it for them? Because there's nothing worse than we're sitting here and we're putting our goals and our dreams and our vision on this newest person. It may be just like, I just need to earn an extra couple $100 a week or a month. I need to get my products paid for. Or I'm just so tired of being overweight and I have no energy with my kids. I want to have that energy back. I want to get my body feeling better, because you know what? I have a crazy, horrible health plan, and I need to get something done because I'm not sure if my insurance is going to take care of me. So we have to make it about the newest person. You got to get right with them, a personal call, and say, hey, listen, what is it that you want? It's really all about them. So when I do my 3-way calls, or I'm doing some training with my new people, and you can explain this as well, is I like to get on the phone and say, hey, listen, what is it that you want? And then I listen and I take notes. And when they're pouring out their heart to me, and sometimes it's even emotional, they may even be crying because they so badly want change in their life, I will say it back to them in through their ears, their exact wording, so it hits home. And of course, we go through the dream boards. They have it right on the wall, right in their mirror. You have to see your goals and your dreams. It's very, very important. It's not something you just say and just hope it's going to happen. Consistency and what the newest person, what they want. It's all about what they want.
So I'll show you guys a little bit about what we do specifically to make this work, because we are, we have 3 kids, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have kids. One of you mentioned, Nikki, you said you have 6.
Wow.
So you guys are busy. And so
busy mama.
you know that when you're working from home, and if you're a mompreneur, dadpreneur, whatever you are, or even if you have a full-time job, we have to get really organized and really schedule ourselves for success. This doesn't happen by accident. You don't just wake up one day and Tami just, oh, how did I become an Isa-Millionaire millionaire? I don't even know how that happened. You know, she planned her way there. You have to really schedule yourself for success. I try really hard to be organized, but there's something that I like to call flexible time management, because we have a to-do list, but it's not necessarily set in stone, especially when you have kids. Things come up, your day's not going to necessarily go 100%. Hey, Scott and Lori, it's not going to 100% go according to, you know, how you planned it in the beginning, and that's okay. You know, so what I try to do is I have a to-do list and I kind of prioritize it based on what's most important. And I try and knock out those first 3 most important things as soon as possible in the day, because it's so easy for the rest of the day to just kind of, you know, life happens, things get in the way, and the rest of it might not happen. But that's totally okay, and learn to just be okay with that. But as much as possible, try and get things done and be organized. I like to use iCalendar, and I have a day planner kind of organized hour by hour, so I can really plan and schedule myself and plan ahead of time how my day is going to look, how my week's going to look, my month, as much as possible. But be flexible, especially when we're a mom with kids. You know, things are going to happen. It's not 100% going to go according to plan, but that's totally okay. So then another thing, especially if you're working from home, it's so, I know how hard this can be when you're working from home and there's a lot going on around you. Try and find a quiet place that you can work. So we're actually in our bedroom in a quiet spot off to the corner. Our kids are upstairs trying to go to sleep, but we try and find a place where we can do this and have as little distractions as possible. When you're trying to have your working time, turn your phone on do not disturb or sleep mode so that you're not going to have constant beeps and buzzes, you know, popping up and just, you know, taking you away from what you were working on, because it's so easy to have that swirl, you know, like, oh, something shiny went by, what else can I look at? It's so easy to get distracted, especially as a mom with kids. So what I try to do, and this might be different for you, but when my kids are in school, that's a perfect time for me to work and get stuff done. So I have a period of time between, you know, 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. when I can focus and, you know, I can exercise, I can work, I can spend time with Shawn. And it might be, if you have little kids, it might be during nap time. Maybe you have a 30 or 60-minute window when you can do something. And I remember that with my youngest, when she was taking her naps, that's when I had to quickly get to the computer and do something. And sometimes it's 15 minutes, and that's totally fine. And you just have to really think to yourself, okay, I'm getting on here. Be intentional with your time. Who can I follow up with? Who can I reach out to and invite to take a look at Isa-Millionaire? Because it's really easy to log on to Facebook and, you know, you're scrolling around checking up on, you know, Sarah and Susie, and before you know it, 30 minutes goes by and you haven't actually gotten anything done, but you've been sitting on the computer using up your time, and maybe your baby wakes up. So you're like, now I have to wait till my next window of time. So it's really important to kind of focus on those moments and be intentional with your pockets of time.
It's really about income producing activity. And that's, I mean, a person can be in their office and they could be vacuuming in their office. They're not really growing their business. You could be on Facebook while I'm in my office, right? It's really about income producing activity, because some people out there, and you moms would know, you can get very, very busy. And you're like, man, I only got 60 minutes. I only got an hour a day that I can do this. Well, that hour needs to be very intentional. It needs to be an income-producing activity, which is all about reaching out to new humans. Because the only way this business is going to grow is fresh, new humans that we're reaching out to, following up with, taking detailed notes. Hey, how's it going? Then we can go through a Facebook training maybe possibly later. But it's really about reaching out to the newest person. It's not just going through and just looking at new chats and all this different stuff that's going on out there. I really, really believe you need to have income-producing activity.
Absolutely. So then another thing I want to emphasize, especially, like, how many of you guys are moms that are on here?
Scott, don't put your hand up.
Just curious, because I know when you're a mompreneur, a work-at-home mom, or even, you know, or work out of the home mom, you know, there's so much going on. So balance is so important, and not the kind of balance that makes you feel torn from activity to activity where you're on a tightrope and it's not comfortable balance. So it's really about prioritizing. And for us, you know, it's God, family, then business. And, you know, it might be slightly different for you, but we chose to be a part of this industry so that we could have more time together as a family. So work isn't your life. You're working so that you can have a lifestyle. There's a quote that I really like from Dolly Parton: "Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life." And so it's really important to keep that in mind. Keep your balance, keep your priorities in check, because I'm not doing this so that I can be taking away time from my kids. I'm doing this so that I can have more time with them, so I don't have to put them in daycare, so that, you know, when they come home, I can put everything away what I was doing, and I have my time with them for their homework, or when it's time to put them to bed at night, I take that time individually with them to read with them and pray with them and have that quality time together as a family. And that's what's so beautiful about this industry, is that it's given us that freedom to be able to have time together as a family and just take that time.
Enjoy the journey. That's what I always say. Everybody's trying so hard to get to that destination. Enjoy your journey. I mean, that's what, for us, it's not about the amount of money that you get paid every week. It's really about the freedom that we have to do whatever we want, whenever we want. We get to hang out with people and enjoy your freedom with your family and your kids. So the number one thing we got to get back to is we got to make sure that we're doing income-producing activity. We're reaching out to fresh new humans. We're not wasting our time doing foolish stuff that's not helping our business.
So then you had also asked Tami, how are we doing this? Like, what are we doing to build our business? The biggest tool that we're using is social media. That would be Facebook and Instagram. That has been huge for us. We do a lot virtually. Building locally is awesome too, but so much of our team is scattered throughout the US and Canada that we do a lot virtually. We use Zoom once a week. We have live broadcasts where we either share, you know, an opportunity style broadcast, you know, why we chose Isagenix, or we do an interview and we ask somebody, you know, how do you reach out? Let me just check and see. There's some comments here. How do you reach out to fresh new humans? Okay, that's an awesome question. And so that's one of the things that I use social media for, to connect with people and reach out. It really helps to be observant. You want to connect with more and more people, because sometimes people will say, like, I'm running out of leads. I'm running out of people to connect with. Join groups on Facebook. You know, what are you interested in? Are you, you know, into roller derby like Lori is? You can join a roller derby group and connect with people who like to do what you like to do. Make friends with them. Add them to your list on Facebook. The more friends you have. Someone talking there?
I'm not sure where that came from.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the more connections you have, the better, so that you don't have that opportunity where you feel like you're running out of connections. And then be friendly. It's the same as it is in real life. Like, you wouldn't just walk up to someone and just instantly pitch them on Isagenix. You would get to know them, ask them questions, become their friend on Facebook, the same as you would in real life. Like, if you're at the pool with your kids and there's another mom there with kids your same age, you would say hi. You know, where are you from? What do you do? Give them an opportunity to interact with you and get to know them. And if you feel like you're like-minded and connected, maybe add them as a friend on Facebook so that you have an opportunity to later have them kind of witness your awesome life with Isagenix. So that's something that we do a lot.
A lot of people are even just watching you. They're just watching us quietly for a long time. We've got a lot of people that it happens with. We probably get about a sign up at least a week from just the people that are watching. And so they want to see how this person is. I mean, they're maybe all excited when you're talking to them the first time. Then you want to get on Facebook and you want to see their life, and they want to say, hey, do I want to be part of that, what that person is doing? I want to be part of this relationship. So, you know, a lot of people are watching. So stay positive online. It breaks my heart when I see new people or someone that's trying to grow their business and there's a negative comment. You absolutely don't start anything that's going to become into a negative thread. Don't comment anything negative. Keep it positive. We know life is not perfect. You're having maybe problems, or kids are screaming, or you stubbed your toe, but you definitely don't want to talk about that on Facebook, because that person that's watching you, they're thinking, well, I'm going through that exact same thing. And you know what? I want some positivity. I want something good in my life. So they want to see something good. If you're going somewhere, show something good about the lifestyle, maybe the freedom, but you got to really, really stay positive.
Absolutely.
Shawn, how often do you guys post? You know, everybody's got the rule. You post it this time and this time. So I'll get something really great and funny to happen. And I'm like, oh, I can't post now. It's not the time. And then I forget, you know. So is there a rule, or is it just do your posts?
Kind of. I mean, there's some like general like times that are like
better
more
times
popular.
to post, for sure.
And so they say that people tend to check their social media in the morning, like when they first wake up. If you think about it, when you first wake up, what's the first thing that you pull out to look at? It's probably your Facebook. You like scroll through and look, and you know, you're sitting there drinking your coffee and just kind of what's going on with my friends. Well. And then lunch break, if you have it like in the middle of the day, noon is, and then right before you go to bed at night, like around 10 p.m. between that time, that's when a lot of people are on social media. So chances are if you post at that time, it's more likely to be seen.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
What kind of posts do you guys do? Again, how many?
Yeah, so,
how many, you know.
I love the Isa-Millionaire training on social media, the power post, the 10-4-1. I thought that was amazing. And I used to teach social media. And the thing with social media is that it's so fluid and organic. It's constantly changing. Back when we taught it in 2008, 2009, it was so much more simple and straightforward. And people weren't as disillusioned to seeing things and instantly ignoring things and hitting, you know, hide all the time. So now people are kind of more smart and aware. They're more sensitive to things sounding salesy. So it's really important that if you are going to post something, that you don't come across like you're trying to advertise something. Be a little bit more clever. Talk about what you're excited about. Share, like if you have a friend who has an awesome results, share that and be excited about it. But don't say it's something like, you know, are you sick and feeling tired? Are you craving something to make you, you know,
no infomercials.
Like, it shouldn't sound like an infomercial.
Big
like,
mistake.
you know, talk like yourself, like have your normal language, because people can also pick up it like from a mile away if it's not natural and if it doesn't sound like you. So be yourself. I mean, you want to convey excitement and enthusiasm, but don't be hypey. So there's kind of that balance there. And when you're going to have that balance on your wall, take a look once in a while on your wall, and because it's very easy once in a while to get excited and kind of carried away, and then maybe a promotion like this week is going on and we're talking a lot about it. But so what I do once in a while is if I look at my wall and it kind of looks like I've posted a little too much Isa-Millionaire type stuff, is I'll just hide stuff off my wall. It doesn't necessarily delete it. It can still be in the main newsfeed for other people to see. But then when someone goes right to my wall to look at it, it doesn't look like I'm just obsessed with Isa-Millionaire and that's all I think about. And you know, you kind of want to balance there.
Yeah, and you know what you can do as well is a lot of times there is a really good promotion of something really, really good that someone will post on Facebook, and then what they do is it's so sad, they will drown it out with something else. And if they could just wait a little bit longer, so that prime time when everybody's looking at it, that highlighted post that you're trying to get everybody's attention will stay at the top of your page, which is above the fold. See, the fold is when you scroll down what you see below that. So you want to stay above the fold and at the very, very top, leave that post there if it's a promotion or something very, very valuable you want them to see in those prime times. And then, of course, you can promote your family and all that kind of stuff later. But don't drown it out with something that you're trying to show in the beginning in the first place. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Okay, so for my generation, I'm laughing. Nikki's like, of course you got the code wrong, Tami, for about 40 people.
I did not say that.
Oh, it's what I do. I'm the old networker. You know, I built my businesses one-on-one. And even tonight, you know, I text out a girl for our meeting tomorrow night with Dave MacArthur that I met as a waitress. So Facebook, I know, and I tell everybody, you've got to learn it. Are there... Emily and Shawn, is there a podcast that everybody could go to from the company and just learn more on Facebook?
Yeah, there is. Go to isagenexpodcast.com and you can just type in Facebook or social media. And I'm sure there's more than one, because from the most recent celebration, and then last year's, I can think of a couple of trainings that we had with Chris and Lori Harder, Zach and Eden Slobin. There were so many. I was actually listening to one today. I'm not even sure what year it was from, but it was from Zach and Eden Slobin. And it was so good. So you can go to YouTube as well and type in Isagenix social media training. And there are so many good ones. And they actually, since you can watch it, it's on YouTube, they actually have their slides from their presentation with actual wording, like verbiage of what to post. And it was so good. And just to re-watch them from time to time and re-put it in your head of things, because sometimes we hear it and then we forget. So to go back once in a while and re-watch and kind of get ideas of exactly what's working for people, I always find that that's really helpful, to see exactly the wording and the verbiage that people are using. There's actually a brand new Facebook group. I don't know if you guys have gotten into it yet. One of the guys on our team, Paul Austin, created a group, and it's called Posting with Purpose. And it's completely dedicated to Facebook post ideas. And it has over 5,000 people in it now. He only started it like a week and a half ago, and because he promoted it in the Isagenix business group. And it's all Isagenix post ideas, and they're all things that have worked in the past for other people. And I go there once or twice a day now, and just to get ideas of things that are working. And in the various groups that I'm in, I have a fitness and wellness group that I have, and I share the workouts that I do and healthy recipes. And I add people to that group that I think are on the same kind of path as me, who might potentially be interested in Isagenix. And so once in a while, I share Isagenix stuff, but mostly I share, this is the workout I did today, or this is an awesome healthy recipe. And that's another idea for you guys. If you want to kind of create curiosity and develop a community within your Facebook friends group, create maybe an Isagenix challenge group, or like a challenge group for wellness and losing weight. Don't call it Isagenix, but then if ask friends, like, are you trying to lose weight? Join me on this awesome journey, and I'm going to be sharing my workouts. I'm going to be sharing awesome healthy recipes, and it's just a really fun way to get people kind of like connected and on the same page, and you're sharing value, which is really important.
So I really want to ask you this, and then I'm going to turn it to Nikki. But, you get a lot of people, new people that come on. They're like, oh, I'm afraid to talk to anyone. And I look at you too, and to leave a company where you're making very good money to come new, it takes such courage, because I've done that. And so what was it when you look at Isagenix as far as the training of associates and that? How do you feel about this company? What's available to everybody?
Yeah, well,
it's
so much better. I think a lot of mistakes that people make, the newest people, is they're all about the brand new company, where you get in there and you could maybe be in the top at the very beginning, but there's no training, there's no support. Sometimes they're even going into countries the wrong way and they're not even staying. So I love Isagenix. That's what I absolutely loved about it, is they got a good track record. When they go to a country, they're there to stay. Lots of support, lots of training, their apps work. They got just so much support, and I love that. So the newest person coming in, they're going to get lots of help and lots of support with all the links and videos. And sometimes, of course, you can feel a little overwhelmed because there is so much, but better that than not having the support. So I think I missed your question, but.
No, I think that's phenomenal. I think people need to know, especially if they've never done this type of business. I just think this company.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We're about to hit $1 billion, and we're only like 14 countries roughly. That is huge. So imagine we expand out into these other countries around the world. I mean, your timing is great already, but you got a really, really well-established company, and it's backed by science, and they know what they're doing with all these results and testimonials and products that truly work. That is so valuable to come in right now. The timing is perfect in this company.
Something I can share with you, Tami, is just from our perspective, having been with other companies. We've never been anywhere where we've been continually impressed with the past two companies. Even though we did well financially, it was the opposite scenario where the longer we were there and the higher up we got, the deeper into it we got, the more we kind of discovered behind the scenes that was disappointing. There were red flags, things that weren't being done right behind the scenes. And, you know, it was hard when you have a team and you have to kind of make excuses and just be like, yeah, I guess, like, why did they make this decision? Oh, I mean, maybe it's coming, it's going to be better in a week, or just wait, just be patient. Here, everything that you could possibly want done is already done, and they've already established themselves that they know what they're doing. They operate with integrity. They never do anything that's kind of shady behind the scenes. I haven't seen a single thing that's left us feeling disappointed. We are continually more and more impressed. We're so proud of this company. We never feel like, oh, why did they do that? It's always like, yep, that's exactly if I could have picked the perfect scenario of what they could have done. They keep doing things, and everything they do, you can tell they're paying attention to everybody here in the field. Like, they are really listening, and they know, because it's, I mean, Kathy's done this. I mean, she's been in the field and done it with multiple companies. It's not like she's just a corporate executive who decided to kind of make a company and become rich. She's already done this. She's done the hard work. So she knows how it feels. So she knows what we need for us to succeed as well. So there's just so many things that, you know, the more we're a part of this, the more happy and proud we are. And it has just really blown us away.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to ask you, and then Nikki, I'm giving it over to you. For me, I focus on a number every week of how many people I want to contact, and I focus on a contest that the company does. You know, I always go into contests and promotion and pick top achievers and pick Millionaire in Action. Do you guys function like that, or do you just get up, go to work, do Facebook? How do you function on for you two?
Yes. We actually have a really awesome Facebook group for our team that we use to kind of help expose and introduce the company to people. And we're very systematic, very organized. And I actually have like a number goal for the week. I want to add no less than 20 a week to this group. I want to add no less than 3 a day. I'm reaching out to and inviting anywhere from 10 to 20 a day, and you know, they don't all respond and say yes right away. So, you know, I have anywhere from 3 to 5 a day that I'm adding to this group. And then I'm very, very consistent with following up, because I have a list and I have it all laid out right here in front of me. It's always next to my computer of exactly what their name is, when I added them to the group, what I shared with them, so that I can go back the next day and follow up with them, check up with them, see how they're loving the group, if they have any questions, make sure that they know, since this week there is a promotion running, it's the perfect opportunity to follow up with people and let them know, you know, hey, we have an awesome free shipping promotion. I wanted to make sure you knew about that. And I write everything out exactly how I invite with people too, and I share it with our team so that they can always have examples of what's working for me and what people are responding to. But it's so important to be consistent with that. Every single day I'm inviting people. Every single day I'm following up with them. And that's so important. And then every single day I'm demonstrating on my wall, I'm excited about this. You have to be so consistent. People will assume, like, if you like disappear for a week off social media, people start to forget about you, or they think you either failed or you lost interest in this and it's no longer important to you. So it's really important that you continue to show excitement, and through different ways. You know, you can share a transformation one day. The next day you can share, you know, something awesome about why nutritional cleansing works. And there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of build that curiosity and share value. But it's really important to be consistent and to stay plugged in, because if you kind of like plug out for a while, you'll kind of forget why you're doing this. You'll lose your enthusiasm for it. The steam goes away. And then other people watching you kind of think, must not have worked.
No. So you don't want to randomly have success. That's you know, you want to intentionally know what you're doing. There's no randomly having success here. We know exactly who we're going. So she just spends a lot of time online. When you go out, even to the grocery store, to the post office, or school, I mean, go out and purposely go a direction where there's people, where there's humans, right? Because that's what this business is about, is fresh new humans. And you talk to them, not everybody's going to come in. Not everybody's going to even want to talk to you. But at least you're making the attempt when you're going out and you're getting groceries, you're going to Costco, you're doing things, meet people. I mean, Scott and Lori, the guys in the middle, they're a perfect example of that. They go out, they live their life like they normally do, but they talk to people. That's what's important. And then when you come back online, the exact same thing. It's really about not randomly trying to have success. You're living your life, but you're purposely talking to people. You're purposely sharing. And it's incredible what can happen, but you don't want to leave it up to random. You really, really got to have that intention.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Nick, I'm going to turn it over to you. You're going to take it over.
I just have a couple more questions. You guys are awesome, and we are going past 30 minutes, and I'm really sorry about that, but it's so good, and we have to keep going. How do you feel about events? How do you promote them with your team? Which one is your favorite?
Oh my gosh, they're huge. They have literally made our business. Like for us personally, we have attended every single convention from every company that we've been a part of.
Never missed one.
It's something that's like a non-negotiable. Like you have to do whatever you can to find babysitters. Like you've got to make it work. And I have seen people who, you know, it was not necessarily easy to make it work, but then you can see a huge transformation in their belief level, in, you know, what happens afterwards when they come home. It takes it from, you know, kind of like your head to your heart type thing. And you see how real it is. You see like, this is something, wow. And with Isa-Millionaire, oh my gosh, I had never been to a company where it was that big. I mean, our previous company, it was such a different experience. So to come last year where it was 13,000 people, and it's just like, you can't even fathom, like it just kind of puts into perspective, wow, this is working. People are excited about this. And then you hear the stories. Like that's what really got to me is when we were first kind of investigating Isa-Millionaire last year. And I mean, I still remember Hillary Courtney. She made me cry last year. And that was when I kind of looked over at Shawn and was just like, this is it. We have to be a part of this. And because we had just been praying for something where we weren't going to have to feel continually having to make excuses for it, where we could just feel so proud and excited and just know, yeah, I mean, a long answer to your short question, but events are so important.
Events are vital. If you're within 3 hours of an event, get there. I mean, we even go as far as flying, but I mean, if you're within a couple hours, a few hours, get there. I mean, whatever you need to do. I even paid sometimes people's fuel to get to the event because I know that it's a belief that's going to change, like Emily said, from their head to their heart. In fact, they even say every person that you get in an event will create an extra $1,000 a year. If financially you're looking at this, like I want to make income, every person you get will create an extra $1,000 a year in income as well for your business. But events are just the total belief. Promote it online and really, really post and talk about that.
That's awesome. What are your top 3 favorite books that you would recommend to all your new people that want to go exec?
So like business type books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's the Bible.
So Go Pro, Eric Worre.
Yes.
That is so good. I really liked Think and Grow Rich as well. And then I liked Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That was one of the ones that we read a long time ago that kind of helped us to start thinking like an entrepreneur and to stop thinking like an employee and like an entrepreneur. He's really good at kind of explaining all of that kind of thing. But Go Pro, like if you want to be a professional network marketer and know the skills that it takes. I mean, we actually listened to it we have the CD and we've listened to it
lots, went to all of his events
so many times.
What I like about Eric Worre is he talks about the people that are trying this, the posers versus the ones that are actually doing it. And it really was when the first time I listened to it, I was watching it, hearing it, it's like, man, that's totally me. I'm posing. I'm trying to guess to randomly have success. I'm showing up whenever I feel like it. It's not really that important to me. But if that's your only source of income, or you want that freedom, I got to stop being a poser and I got to take this serious. Even if I only have an hour or 2 hours a day, Eric Worre Go Pro, that is for sure for me the #1 book next to the Bible for business to grow your business.
Okay.
Good question.
And what's the one Isa-Millionaire tool that you can't live without? Like if you had to get rid of all of them, what's the one you would keep?
Boy.
Well, it's not Isa-Millionaire specific, but I have to have Facebook. Like
right.
That's exactly how I do my business. It's so crucial and critical for us. I mean, that's how we communicate with our team. That's how we share with people. That's how we follow up with people. That's how we build our brand and demonstrate our lifestyle. Out of all the social media, that Facebook would be number one for sure. And then, I mean, I check my Isa pulse all the time. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I'm constant like, where are we at for cycles? Like and I want to see like where everyone else is at, who brought in somebody, like how are people doing, who just joined the Isa Body Challenge. I love it. It's so
always
fun
welcome
to
your
keep
newest
track
people.
of
Yeah, it's
where
very
people
cool.
are at.
I like the videos as well. Like I like to send out these videos if someone's into the performance line, or if they're into the the older generation, they want to get the product B. Whatever it is, whatever you're talking to about as they're listening and talking about the problems or issues that they're having, I'll send them a video on that. So I absolutely love the videos, because sometimes people don't want to read a bunch of stuff. They just want to see something, a video, and they can kind of relate to it. Oh, that's totally me. Wow, what is this? I want to try this. So the videos for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, my last question is, what would be the one thing that you tell yourself, probably before Isa-Genics, when you guys first got into network marketing? What's the one piece of advice you would give to your young selves when you first got started?
For me, it would be when somebody else who's done and walked in the shoes already that I'm about to go into, to really, really take it seriously when they're telling me advice or different things to do and things not to do. Not at the time, for me, it was just writing it down, not really applying it, to actually apply what they're telling me. And that's when we saw our income just jump like that, to apply what they told us. So my young self, I'd say, Shawn, you got all these fancy notes and all this stuff. Now go ahead and apply it.
For me, I think I would, so here to put it in perspective, with where we're at now versus growing up. I grew up very, very shy, painfully shy. And I never would have guessed or dreamed that I would be, in network marketing, speaking on webinars, speaking on calls, speaking on stage. I actually, that probably would have made me throw up. Like I would have been so scared. So I would have, if I could go back and talk to myself as a teenager, I would tell myself, you're stronger than you think you are. You can do so much more than you know. And I mean, because this industry can develop skills in you that you might never think that you could do. And that's one of the things I love about this industry, the personal development and this, like, the ability to talk with people, to build relationships, to build belief in people, to encourage people like on a daily basis. It helps to kind of foster that same belief in your own self when you're constantly telling people, I believe in you. I know you can do this. You want to lose 15 pounds? I know you can do this. You want to make another $100 a week? I know I can help you do this.
Yes.
And it helps you when you start to kind of like pour that into other people, it comes back to you. And so that's what I would say is, like, you're stronger than you know, and you can do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is awesome. You guys are so fabulous. Thank you so much for taking this time. Longer than 30 minutes.
Thank you. Yes.
Tami, are you?
I'm here. Emily, Shawn, I just wanted to tell you that we're so excited to see you as six-figure income earners, and just all the great things that, honestly, you guys have done. When I met you in Salt Lake, I looked at you guys in that room and I thought, who is that new couple? Because you know who's in there, and you're just so sharp and just running and really leading by example. So thank you for having the Go Give heart and really helping us here tonight. We truly appreciate it. And thank you for everybody that is on the line. And we really appreciate you learning tonight from these guys. Watch for them. Watch them as you rock stars. And I always say, send a personal message to Travis Garza at isagenicscorp.com and Kathy Coover at isagenicscorp.com and tell them how great these two were tonight. And that makes all the difference of gratitude. So we love you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you all.
God bless you guys. Thanks
Night, you
so much.
guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.